This quaint forest hideaway in the West Midlands is home to Monmouth trainer Craig Marston and his rapidly expanding kennel.
We had 4 kennels to start with, which we've now got 58 we can hold. What we've done, we've got a main block, which is a bit old-fashioned style of kennels, and then we've got a lot of prefabricated with runs. Each have got their own little runs on, so the dogs can be out and do what they want all day. We've got grass paddocks as well, which again the dogs go out as 3 or 4 times a day there. We've got a 3-acre field which is just off site, it's just up the road from us, where we allow the dogs to do free galloping. We have a treadmill, we've got hydro pool, you know, we've got lots of woodland around here, so yeah, ideal for keeping the dogs stimulated and fit.
It really is like a woodland hideaway. I think I compared it to Robin Hood when I first got here. You're just hidden away in this gorgeous little hub here. Something else you've got here that I've never seen at any other kennel is an electric massager.
Some people, I suppose, think you should do it all with your hands and your fingers, but you know, time constraints as well. It does the same thing, and as I say, if people look into the care of the greyhound, the book that's been published by Professor Gannon, it's been around for 40-50 years, and even now thinking electric massagers is the way forward.
You have more dogs here than just your 58, don't you?
Yeah, we have roughly around 18 extra retired dogs for the Graham Trust with our own branch, the Dudley branch, and yeah, that's primarily overseen by my partner Debbie.
But you help out too.
Yeah,
you actually love your
of
retired
course,
dogs as
well,
well,
and,
don't you?
and the staff and all, we all help out.
And actually, important to say, you love your retires and Debbie loves her racing.
Oh yeah. It's yin and yang, you know. These dogs have been good servants to us as well, you know, and it's nice to see them go home and into a forever home, and it's nice for them to come back when they have the nails cut and we get to see them, and we're always on the phone if anybody wants us with a problem or there's an issue or they want a bit of advice, so, you know, it's nice. It's not the end for us when they finish racing. For us, the end is when they've lived to a good age and finally, you know, pass on, but it's nice to still see them dogs years after and see them wagging their tails when they see you.
One of the things that really struck me here is the number of people.
Yes, there's lots of us. Yeah, there's lots of volunteers, and there is 4 staff as well. There's always 4 staff, plus there's somebody at the track as well, because obviously we race 6 days a week, so, you know, so we prefer to have lots of people here. At least we know the dogs can be done then. And which is the main thing. I like to work with 1 to 14 in mind. 1 to 12 would be ideal, but you know, obviously financial restrictions unfortunately stop that always from happening, but we always like to maintain 1 to 14 so we feel that the dogs get the best they can.
I met Claire, one of your volunteers here today, and she actually summed it up to me really well. She said, what we lack in new buildings, we make up for in love. And that really comes across, how much you all love the dogs.
Well, I think that's the most important, knowing that they're loved. You know, like Nightingale Lane, he knows he's top dog round here, one of the top dogs. He comes out, he's kennel, and he loves it. He thrives on having the fuss and attention. And that's why we want to keep it that 1 to 14, 1 to 12, because that gives us that opportunity to be able to afford them that amount of time and affection. So yeah, I think a happy dog will run better for you.
You've bred the odd litter in your time, and I know it's something you might do again going forward, but also news of a stud dog standing here that people might be interested in.
Yeah, Lenson Whelan's going to be standing. Obviously, he got to the semi-final of the Derby. He made a number of Cat 1 finals. I think he was runner-up at the Steel City Cup as well. He hopefully next year will be the start. We'll be mating into a couple of our own bitches, so yeah, hopefully we'll be having a litter or 2 on ground.
As an owner, you've done well. You owned a Springbok winner. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I owned a quarter of Burgess stock, who Lee Field trained. Our agent Brendan Horgan picked the dog up for me, and he offered it to me, and to be fair, at the time, there was a lot of time constraints which prevented me from really carrying on, from taking him on and training him myself. I knew Lee was going to the Springbok, and Lee says, well, I am going with a couple, and yeah, we did our research and that was it. I mean, to be fair, I never watched the dog race, only on the telly, because I didn't want to jinx him. I thought the first time I'd turn up, it'd probably be all over. So, but it was a rememberable night because me and one of the other owners, Andrea Dale, who was one of my main owners here, she was in with him as well, and yeah, we had the champagne on ice ready, and it was like, well, if he loses, we have a good drink anyway. If he wins, well, it'll be all the better. And obviously the house just went up in uproar when he jumped that final flight. And obviously the dog behind, I think it was Barry O'Sullivan's, just caught one of Ricky Holloway's. He was making inroads and just took him off his stride. And obviously we just got up and held on, like, and yeah, I think the whole neighbourhood knew that night something was going on. Like, so.
Brilliant. You also have a DJ Sydney story. You've got to share that one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the truth, I was also offered Nottingham Ball Sid as well for a reasonable price, and I said no to them both at the time because we just bought a load of dogs, and yeah, our agent Brendan Organ offered us DJ Sydney for £5,000, and yeah, he kept reminding me later on how he'd won the derby, you know, and yeah, we kept watching him through the rounds, but you know, listen, obviously derby winners these days cost, well, the derby winners in general, derby runners cost you 50,000-60,000, so perhaps you know they didn't realise what they got, and unfortunately I missed out as well. And then obviously Nottingham Ball Sid won when he won the Easter Cup as well, and he was only 10. He was offered for me for 10,000. So yeah, we've been very unlucky there.
As a trainer, you've made it to the Regency semi-finals before, but how much would you like to make a Category 1 final?
I'd like to. Well, I think any trainer around would wants to make Cat 1 finals, and I'd like to make a Cat 1 final, but I'd like to win one as well, which is more important as well. But it's all about luck, and sometimes you've got to be out there on the road, and you've got to take on the big trainers and the big reputations, and you know, look, it's all about luck at the end of the day. One dog might miss its break, and you're out in front in the final. And that's the be all and end all, really. It's all about luck.